There is nothing great about tariffs. Tariffs ultimately hit the consumer. Consumers end up paying more. Consumers stop buying, and a recession is the result. So for Trump to say tariffs are good is crazy. And furthermore, if he imposes additional tariffs and doesn't take away the ones that he's got in place, he will be personally instigating a recession in this continent and possibly beyond our shores as well. And that he has nobody but himself to blame for.
We, as you say, already have tariffs in place, including those steel and aluminum tariffs. What's the impact on your business so far?
I mean, for us, it's minimal because for our business in the U.S., we aren't importing steel and aluminum. Most of what we purchase to manufacture are castings and forgings. So we're not directly and certainly not buying foreign steel and aluminum. So we have minimal impact there. We do import some steel bar from the U.S. into Canada, which is caught up in the Canadian retaliatory tariffs. But happily, everything that we do import into Canada, whether it be in our auto business or in our infrastructure or agriculture business, is subsequently exported. So we're able to utilize the duty drawback system here in Canada to fully reclaim those duties, which is a real advantage for Canadian companies and certainly for us, because everything we bring in, we do subsequently export.
So we won't see any of this activity showing up in your numbers, as we are seeing already in companies like Harley-Davidson and Whirlpool.
Yeah, I mean, I think there will be some minimal impact because, of course, some of our suppliers are experiencing some cost increases that we are trying to manage with them. So, you know, we're trying to use sort of a disciplined process so that we can see exactly where their costs are indeed increasing, and then trying to deal with that with them and our customers. So, you know, you will see some impact, you know, at some point. But I think that the bigger impact is really with American companies who are forced to buy steel and aluminum outside of the U.S. because the capacity just doesn't exist in the U.S. to fulfill all the needs of metal-using industries. So they are really the ones that are suffering the most, are going to see the highest cost impacts and immediate impact on their results and their outlook.
You have also warned about the effect of tariffs on autos themselves. Any worries that that's actually going to come to pass? There was a lot of rhetoric. We haven't seen any movement on that.
Yeah, I mean, I am hopeful that we won't see the tariffs imposed on auto parts, simply because I think the impact of such would be absolutely disastrous from an economical perspective. I mean, if you look at the auto industry is highly integrated. Auto parts are traveling back and forth across borders between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico up to 7 times. To impose 20-25% duties on every one of those border crossings would create enormous additional costs that no company, no automaker, no supplier could absorb. So without doubt, this would create a massive increase to prices of vehicles. I've seen anything from $5,000 per vehicle to $9,000 per vehicle estimated. And of course, that's only going to have one impact, and that is a collapse of the auto industry and production levels, because people just simply won't buy cars. So it is my hope that the clear consequence of imposing these tariffs on auto parts being such a disastrous impact on the auto industry and therefore the overall economy, that the U.S. administration will not impose them, because after all, they will be hurt more than anybody when the industry collapses, the recession begins, and people lose their jobs. Americans lose their jobs.